Welcome to Larry's Topics. I'm gonna apologize for my last video. I had severe heartburn and it made it a little unsettling. It was quite severe. I'm sorry, but I apologize. This is one of my more basically better videos. It was really bad. I had reached the point with the acid in my stomach that I wound up it shortly after it. Well, you don't want to know, but it was bad. But enough about that. Today is about, oh boy, the movie that we were supposed to get, but we couldn't get because movie studios couldn't agree. For all you slasher fans, for all you Freddy fans, for all you Jason fans, for all you Freddy Jason fans, for all you Michael Myers fans, it breaks my heart. I don't know if we'll ever get it. I know. Oh, I don't want to say it. I love him. He's literally. I've said it in one of my earlier videos. Michael Myers is like right at the. It's like a. For slasher heroes, he's barely at the tip. I love Michael Myers so much. But you come down from his tip and you got Freddy and Jason. And then you have the baddest, most evilest, most sadistic mother of horror of all time. You know him, you love him, you hate him, but you know you love him because he is so sick, twisted, and vile. They call him the priest in some names. The other names, he's called the General of Hell's Army. You know him. You love him. He's the only person with cuts sliced all over his head, with no hair, and a bunch of pins. My most beloved and cherished, powerful angel to some, demons to other, Pinhead. I don't know how many of you have read it. Back in the day when Freddy vs. Jason came out. See, it was supposed to. The reason it ends, Freddy vs. Jason ends with Freddy's head coming out of the water and him winking at us, is because there was supposed to be a sequel. And in the sequel, he was supposed to somehow stop tormenting Jason, which he does for a while, and start tormenting some kids. From what I've gathered from the article I read, way back in the day, Freddy was supposed to torment a teen who was a relative of Michael. And during their transfer, the whole tormenting he was doing to the teen before 2018's Halloween was supposed to they were supposed to, from what I gathered, from what I read, something was supposed to happen where Freddy was tormenting one of Michael's living relatives. And during a prison or a medical transfer or whatever, Michael's supposed to hear about it. They're supposed to say, yeah, one of his nieces or nephews or whatever. They never specify in the article. I read it like years ago, so my memory's a little rusty. This was during the time of Freddy vs. Jason, but somebody's supposed to mention a relative of his is being tormented by, well, basically Freddy, but they don't come out and say it. And from what I gather, Michael hears it and his fist clenches, and then he winds up surprisingly killing the prison transfer crew. He gets out and makes his way to where this relative is. And what's supposed to happen is, because Freddy is tormenting Jason and working on the victims that he can that still fear him, Jason starts to notice the more victims that Freddy isn't, his dreams have been less horrific, terrifying, and something happens that makes it, they don't specify, but it makes him wake up, trying to basically hunt down Freddy. Because last he knows, he killed him. And Freddy was messing with him in his dreams over and over, stirring up the fear so he could get strong enough so he could go look for new victims. And it's supposed to reach the point where Jason's trying to find his relative. From what this is from pieces of what I read, and I read it was at least 6-page article, and basically it was supposed to be a 2-parter, a part 1, part 2. Freddy starts messing with Michael, and then Jason gets involved, from what I remember. But at some point, Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers, all three are clashing. No. It was Michael Myers and Jason at first, and then something happens and Freddy gets brought out. And he starts clashing with Jason and Michael. And then all of a sudden, obviously someone had gotten a hold of the lament configuration and opened it, and Pinhead was supposed to walk out. It was supposed to be with Freddy and Jason, but then it was supposed to be for this movie too. But oh god, I can't remember the people that own rights to Michael Myers. I think it's Universal Studios, whoever, whatever. They refused. But Pinhead was supposed to walk out, look at, in Freddy vs. Jason, saying, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem here?" Well, they decided to scrap that, and if they could get the rights to Pinhead and Michael. They were going to have all three of them fighting, and I would assume it would be like towards the end of the, a lot of blood spill and Jason and Michael and Freddy chucking each other up, Pinhead, someone opens the lament configuration, and Pinhead walks out and says, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" And Freddy and Jason are supposed to have a concept of who Pinhead is, because, well, Freddy, he's died. Jason, he's like, in between. He's died, but he's also been alive, in between. So they have an essence of who Pinhead is. Michael, who's never come close to actually dying because, well, in the franchise, he keeps coming back. He's the boogeyman on steroids. And so he has no idea who Pinhead is. Jason and Freddy are supposed to have a inkling of who Freddy more than Jason, because Jason, he walks between, as this saying in Ghost Rider is, I walk between both worlds, for the trailer or whatever. Jason's alive and he's dead at the same time. Freddy, he's dead. He gets his powers from dream demons. Jason, he's got a hint of who he is, so he knows to be pretty scared. Freddy knows to be terrified. And Michael, because he's never really died, he's wound up in a hyperbolic sleep for regeneration, basically. So he has no clue who Pinhead is. And from what I gather, Michael's actually the first to strike him. And that's supposed to lead to a full-out brawl between the four. Pinhead, of course, because in other stories he's called the priest, Hell's Priest, whatever. But from what I remember from other articles and stories and that, he was called the General of Hell's Army. He was OG, right? He's like the devil's third in command. You ain't going to do the job second in command. I'll send out third. He'll do it no matter what, because he's Pinhead. Well, I remember him being labeled as the General of Hell's Army. So he's got like 3/4 of Hell's power behind him. And he's supposed to... Of course, he's going to hold back, because other than Freddy, who obviously is terrified of him because he's been to hell a lot, and Jason balancing in between, even with Jason Goes to Hell, he has a strong idea of who Pinhead is, so he knows to revere him for the most part. Michael has no clue and don't care. He wants that relative that these guys have been basically stopping him from getting to, because Michael's been killing to lead up to that, and Freddy's been using it to fuel his power, and Jason is trying to basically collect and stop Freddy, and it is Pinhead that was supposed to be the ultimate clash, and was supposed to stop Pinhead. He was supposed to stop Michael. He was supposed to stop Freddy. He was supposed to stop Jason. And it was supposed to end with a bloodbath from barbaric style fighting. And all of them are supposed to be from what was hinted and what I could gather, in the end, they were all supposed to be stripped of their power of, being Titans, and Pinhead was to take them in their human form, no power left in them, no resurrection, none of that, and bring them back to hell to be tortured. Which was also, I don't know, it was rumored that there was supposed to be like an explosion, spin-off, whatever. I didn't care about that because they didn't talk about it much. But the way they hinted it, and it bothers me, yeah, it was a huge title. But I loved it at the same time. The last title they had settled on for it was supposed to be a hell-raising Friday the 13th nightmare on Halloween. Hellraiser. Friday the 13th, Jason. Nightmare, Freddy. Halloween, Michael. That would have been a movie I would have seen. If we're lucky, we may get it. I don't know if they can replace Jason. He's easy, he don't say nothing. Michael, he's easy, he don't say nothing. If someone can reboot Michael after the Halloween Kills and that, 2018, strip him down. But there's a talented writer out there that could reboot him, make him a resurrector. Just saying. But, yeah. Pinhead is supposed to come in the storyline. From what I read, he was supposed to come, and he was supposed to fight all of them, and then eventually collect them all, make them human, and drag them back to hell. Anyhow, this is Larry's Topics. Stay well. God bless. For those of you out there that know who you are, I worry about you. I pray about you. And I'm really sad lately because I've recently heard. But other than that, have a good day. Bye.